Hey guys, welcome. In this video we're going to talk about dictionaries. Dictionaries are basically key value pairs. These things are very popular. They're used widely in, for example, programming on the web for storing information. Okay? So basically what you have is a piece of information and you access it through a key. So let's go into Visual Studio. Let's make a project. So using system and then using system.collections.generic, close out the semicolon. Let's make a namespace sample. And now here we're going to say class program like this. And of course static void main, so we have an entry point. Simple enough. Alright, let me delete this here. Let's make this dictionary. This is what you do. You type dictionary like this, and then you specify the key and then the value, the type of the value. Okay, so our dictionary will store strings that will be accessible through other strings. Okay, so we'll call this dict example equals, and now let's make this new dictionary and then close out the semicolon. Alright, there you go. So remember, the first parameter here is, as you can see, represents text as a series of Unicode characters. That's a string. And then you have the key and then the value to be stored. So the way to do that is as follows. We're going to say dict example.add, and now we're going to say the name of the key, which is first, and then the value to be stored under that key, which we can get from the user. So console.read line, like that. We can read that from the user. Alright, and now let me put the semicolon in here. And now let's do another one. Dict example here dot add, and then the key second, and then console.read line to read the value again to be stored from the user. And now, of course, once you have it in this form, just will save it. And now, of course, the next thing will be to retrieve it. So this is what you would do. You would type console here. Let's make a space. Console.writeLine, and so the value stored under key first is, and now I'm going to show you to escape characters. You're going to do this. Put that slash, then put a quote, then put the placeholder like that. Okay, and then put another double quote like that, and then comma, and then dict, close out the semicolon at the end, and let's make sure here, there you go. Okay, then you're going to type dict example dot, and then to read the value you specify the key, which in our case of course is first, like this. Okay, keys are very popular in web programming. For example, like all the elements of a web page, when you deal with Eraser and so on, JavaScript. So keys, value pairs play a big role. Also in local storage, in HTML5, you can use key value pairs to save information. Alright, so that's that one. Here you have to be really careful because escaping these the correct way could be a bit tricky. And let's see. Okay, this should not be add, this should just be that. Okay, that's how you retrieve the values surrounding that key. Let's do it, go again. Console.writeLine, and then the values stored under the second key is, and now again you're going to say slash, quote, another placeholder, another slash, another quote, closing quote, and then dict example, and then here you will say the second key and then close out with a semicolon. There you go. So here, to make that quote render as a quote, you have to escape it, meaning you have to put in front of it that little forward slash. To make this quote right here appear as a quote, you have to escape it, so in front of it you place that slash. Otherwise it will not render. See, if you remove those, see there's a quote, right, that goes around the whole string. That's this one here, and then the first one. Okay, those are like the quote, they delimit the string. If I remove this symbol here, see what the error is? Okay, now it thinks that this one here is the one that ends it, and now we have a stray one, this one. So the way to do that is place a slash like that, and then it will render the way it's supposed to. That's called escaping. Alright, so console.read key, close the semicolon, that'll do. Okay, so let's give this all a build, make sure it works. It should, it's, you know, give it a second to complete the operation. Build succeeded, magnificent. Alright, let's go with debug and step into here. It's worth seeing. So, it's quite simple, right? Make the dictionary, right? We're going to add a couple values, so this will be the first string stored. Hit enter. Correct. Notice that dict example, if you expand that now at index 0, you see, tells you what is stored there. And there's still an index involved as always, you see. And also the key, as you can see, is first, and the value under that key is this will be the first string stored. Now let's repeat this. And this will be the second string stored. Now, as you can see, dict example down below, if we expand index 1, it's got its key, which is second, and the value, which is the string itself. Alright, so now you can display them and see here it says the value stored under the second key is, and now you have quotes rendered into the string like that, so that's working as expected, and that is the result of having these present, okay, the escape characters, okay, those backward slashes. Alright, so what you've learned here is, remember, dictionary key value pair, and these are generic dictionaries, which means the keys and values can assume a great variety of shapes. They don't have to be strings, they can be other types also. Okay? And that's the benefit, again, of a generic dictionary. And that is it. So, thanks very much, and I'll see you in another video.